Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some Am I the Asshole? I pulled up the Reddit and let's see if some people are the asshole or not. I don't know. I've never really just gone through this. I've just really watched other people do it. So let's see. This one looked interesting. Posted 10 hours ago. It says, am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter to call me dad even though her real dad doesn't like it? And I'm just going to start off by saying, I don't know if you're an asshole, but why is this so important to you? If you're not the dad, I don't think you can tell someone to call her, like, unless she wants to, but to be like, call me dad, it's kind of strange. Unless you're just like, oh, you can call me dad. I'm 38, my wife is 33, and her daughter, my stepdaughter, is 11. I've been married to my wife now for 3 years. Together for 4. I met her daughter when she was 7 and married my wife when she was 8. The daughter's name is Millie. It says, my wife got divorced when Millie was 6. Her ex cheated, but they still have a decent, cordial relationship, and my wife doesn't badmouth Millie's bio dad in front of Millie. My wife has mostly full custody but her bio dad gets Millie 1 weekend a month. Millie loves her bio dad, but they are not very close anymore. She doesn't remember a lot of when her dad lived with her. She doesn't see him often, so it's more of a formal relationship. He gets her ice cream and they watch movies, and basically she has a lot of fun when she sees him. But I'm the dad who comforts her when she has nightmares and listens to her chatter every day about stuff that happened in school. I love her very much and I think of her as my daughter. Until recently, though, she was still calling me by my first name. I didn't mind, but a few weeks ago, she told me her friend saw it as it was weird that she doesn't call her dad. Then she had to explain that I'm not actually her dad, and it was awkward. I sympathized and said it sucks. Then I told her that if she wants, she can, of course, call me dad. Okay, then. That doesn't seem really asshole-ish. That actually seems kind of wholesome, I guess. I didn't think about this very much, but it seemed obvious. But she was very happy, and now she only calls me daddy. My wife's ex came over for Thanksgiving because my wife wanted Millie to have both her parents there for once. I wasn't super happy, but I was okay with it. Her ex heard Millie calling me dad and questioned Millie in an upset way. She said that I told her that me and him are both her dads. He got really angry and started screaming at me, saying that I'm not her dad and she should know that. Later, my wife was upset with me, saying I should have thought about how Millie's relationship with her real dad would suffer before I told Millie something like this. She says I'm selfish and just want to feel like her real dad, and even if Millie doesn't call me dad, it's not that big of a deal. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I do think that your wife is kind of an asshole, though, and I can understand why the dad got upset, because, like, that's his daughter. I'm assuming he really enjoys being with her, but I don't think he should have yelled at you, but I can understand. Now, with the mom calling you selfish and shit like that, that's just kind of bizarre. I think you are not the asshole, No Bank 3444. Let's see what other people said. Not the asshole is anyone taking into account how Millie feels. She wants to call you dad. You're just as much, if not more of a dad than her real dad. Maybe you could have run it by your wife to let her know, but it's not some end of the world thing. If Millie wants to call you to her dad, no one should stop her. And someone else said, not the asshole. Your wife should be super happy that you and her daughter have such a deep relationship. She sees you as a second dad. That is honestly best case scenario anyone could wish for who has children that go through a new relationship. Although I do get the bio dad seeing he got blindsided, so you can't really blame him. But your wife should have definitely listened and understood the situation, that you were not the one instigating it. Yeah. I think he's not the asshole. What do you guys think? Am I the asshole for not letting my 14-year-old cousin come on the cousin walk? You know the cousin walk. I think we all know the cousin walk. When the bulk of my generation of cousins were 16 to 19, we started a yearly tradition of a cousin walk at Thanksgiving. For people familiar, a cousin walk happens when a group of teenage/adult cousins where there are certain conversations and activities that maybe aren't appropriate for older or younger relatives. At the time, there were only 3 that were under 16, a 14-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a baby. 14 is kind of pushing it, but with the age differences, it seemed mean and stupid to leave the 14-year-old out, and it would draw more attention, so we brought her with us. This became a yearly tradition. The 2 youngest would ask to go, but we always said it was an older cousin, older kid kind of thing, and everyone accepted it. This Thanksgiving, that 4-year-old is now 14. We went to go on our walks as usual, and this time my aunts really didn't accept that he couldn't come because we let Sheila come when she was 14. So he's clearly old enough now and should be included. No, he's too young. That's not appropriate. Sheila was too young, but it was vaguely pushing it young, with the rest of us being very close in age. Now we're all in our 20s being asked to include a kid. Also, not for nothing, but all of us, including her, were in high school when this started. This was all teenagers, not 20-somethings and a middle schooler. She kept pushing and wouldn't understand why we were being so mean and not including him, and of course, we couldn't admit exactly why. We were eventually let go, but she's been all over the family group chat about how awful we are and how we are all lacking in family values if we are so exclusive. Oh my god. I don't think we're in the wrong. Having an adult cousin only activity isn't inappropriate. There's just too much of an age gap that unfortunately there are two cousin groups. Not the asshole. I hate when relatives do that they pull that stupid shit, like manipulative shit, like, oh, you have no family values, blah, blah, blah. How about you shut the fuck up, okay? You are not the asshole. Catwill55, you're not the asshole. I don't think anyone's the asshole in the situation except for the aunt. And she's barely the asshole. She just needs to mind her own fucking business. Let's see what other people are saying. Seems like a long way of saying you're gonna go smoke pot together. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people seem to be roasting the OP. Let's see if I can find a comment that's not connected to another. Yeah, apparently a lot of people are missing that. This is what this guy says. Amazing amount of people missing that this is the weed walk. I knew there had to be more to it than what it was in the post, but I didn't have the faintest idea of what it was. That makes it much clearer. I mean, I get why Auntie feels like her son being excluded. They purely think it's a walk, and I agree that a 14-year-old can sensibly participate in a walk with young adults. Although I understand you'll be doing something you don't want the family to know you're doing, I think you should just suck it up and accept that you're going to have to be the asshole in their eyes. My sweetie angel. My sweetie angel. He's gonna help me decide who's the asshole and who's not, so I'm gonna put my microphone on the stand real quick. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you can still hear me. Am I the asshole for yelling at my neighbor's son for playing in my spare wheelchair? A little backstory: I was born paralyzed and unable to walk, and I need a wheelchair to get around. I mostly use a power wheelchair, and I have a spare manual wheelchair when I can't use my power chair. Like when I go to my sister's house or in an older building that are very handicap accessible, my power chair doesn't fit. So Thanksgiving afternoon, I was having Thanksgiving at my sister's house. And heading out of the door, I go out to the garage where I keep my manual chair, and I see my neighbor's son and his friends playing in my wheelchair and being very rough with. They're both riding on it and they tipped it over backwards. I was angry and yelling at them that my wheelchair wasn't a toy and I needed it, and they just laughed and continued playing with it. So several minutes go by of me trying to get them to stop playing with my wheelchair. They were in their backyard that I can't get to, so I try calling their parents to try and help, and they don't answer, so I have to go all the way around the block to get to the front of my neighbor's house. When I get to the front of my neighbor's house and I'm finally able to tell them my situation, my neighbors say it isn't a big deal and I shouldn't be so angry, but by this time it's been several minutes. I'm supposed to be at my sister's house with food, and I inform my neighbors that I need my wheelchair to go to my sister's. I finally got my manual chair, and I tell my neighbor I'm going to call the police next time. My neighbor said I was being sensitive asshole, but I don't think I am. Am I the asshole? How? Wait, what? Is this even real? Because how does that just happen? Like, Sneaky Spartan 01, how does... Okay. I'm just really... You're not the asshole if this is true, but like, what do you mean that these people were just like, oh no, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if they play on your scooter. Not your scooter, your wheelchair. Like, what do you mean? Like, of course it's a big deal. How is she supposed to get around? Not the asshole. Fuck those people. I'd call the police anyway. Yeah, next time, police. At least they know. You let them know. So if they have something to say about it, everyone's gonna think they're the asshole. And I'd be really surprised if these comments say that he is the asshole. Okay. He's saying that he was rolling down a hill near his house and the small front wheels started shaking, and they didn't do that before. That's insane. Yeah, everybody's saying file a report right now. Yeah, like, you should call everyone's saying call the police right now. Call the police right now. Let's do one more, and then I'm gonna properly feed my baby boy. Okay, am I the asshole for lying to my mother-in-law about hospital policy? I'm due in January. Every couple of weeks throughout this whole pregnancy, my mother-in-law has been asking the visitor policy at the hospital because she wants to be there when I give birth. I don't even want my own mother there. My husband and I have constantly been lying to my mother-in-law, telling her that because of COVID, they're only allowing one person in the hospital. This was actually the case when COVID first came around when I gave birth to my ex's kid back in 2020. I'm worried she's gonna decide to look up the hospital policy and show up anyways. I know it's my decision on who is there and in the room, but I know I'm going to create problems if she does go that route. My mother-in-law criticizes me on everything and has since the beginning. I used to have dyed hair and finally gave into her paying for my hair to be a natural color because she would constantly say things like, "Oh, you're a mother, it's time for you to grow up and have natural colors." Boring. I'm sorry, I wish my hair could grow green. If my hair could grow out of my scalp green, that would be fantastic. Once we figure out that type of technology, let me know. You have to grow up and have natural colors or employers won't hire you with that color. She also constantly criticizes the way I dress, my piercings, pretty much anything, and she can and constantly gives her unwanted opinions. She also treats me and my husband like slaves and doesn't get off her ass when she comes to stay at the house. We moved in with my grandmother-in-law to take care of her after her husband died this year. She had knee surgery in the beginning of October, and mother-in-law stayed the whole month, even though me and my husband were here to take care of my grandmother-in-law. She also comes and stays whenever her husband works out of town because she doesn't want to be home alone, even though her other son lives in the home. Her and my grandmother-in-law are also severely stressing me out with constantly saying things like, "I can't wait for our baby to get here. I can't wait to see my baby." It's majorly getting to me because it's not their baby. It's mine and my husband's. My mother-in-law also has all our baby stuff we received from our baby shower and has set up a whole nursery and everything at her house, even though we literally live 7 to 10 minutes away down the road from her. Hold on. You take that cord from him? She's trying to pressure us to stay with her the first week or two that my child is born, and neither my husband nor I want to. But we know she's going to throw a fit and come to our house if we don't stay with her. Literally, no. Change your locks. Change your locks. Tell the hospital her name and who is not allowed to come into the room. They will not let her into the room. She sounds psychotic. You're not the asshole, but your husband needs to step up and say something, because why are you always having to do everything? It's his family. Let's see what everybody else has to say. Everyone sucks here. You need to stop lying and start telling the truth. You seriously done yourself a disservice here. Why are you oh yeah, true. Mother-in-law says all of our baby stuff. Why are you allowing that? True. How the fuck does she get a hold of all your baby stuff? She's trying to pressure us to come and stay. Someone needs to tell her what the fuck is going on, because you're gonna make everything worse for yourself. I don't think you're an asshole. I think you're just scared. I think you're not the asshole. The mother-in-law is the asshole, and your husband's a bitch. And that's how I'm gonna end my first Am I the Asshole? I will link all of them down below and credit the users and stuff like that. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. All my important links and everything, everywhere you can find me on social media, is down below. Bye, guys.